It is now day 4 of the ongoing crisis just south of the American border in Haiti. And at this hour, there is sobering news to report about the presumed death toll in that country. According to Haiti's interior minister tonight, as many as 200,000 people may have lost their lives in Tuesday's massive earthquake and since. If that number turns out to be accurate, Tuesday's magnitude 7.0 earthquake may go down as one of the 10 deadliest earthquakes ever recorded anywhere in all of history. This catastrophic enormity of the loss of life in Haiti is itself contributing to the logistical nightmare of trying to get aid to the people of Port-au-Prince. This is just one street in Port-au-Prince today. What you are looking at are bodies piled up everywhere, stretching across the entire street. In terms of the immediate needs on the ground right now, there are essentially two things that we are told are in highest demand. They are clean water and antibiotics. And the U.S. military is now taking a lead role on both fronts. Today, the USS Carl Vinson provided about 35,000 gallons of potable water for distribution in the Haitian capital. As for antibiotics and first aid, NBC's Ann Curry reports tonight that American sailors on the ground in Port-au-Prince are providing first aid and are being forced to improvise to do so.
We were making splints out of wood, out of plastic, everything that we had on the ship. We took plastic ceiling tiles down and made splints out of them last night to try to help.
And because they have no doctors and only 2 medical corpsmen, a computer specialist is giving shots to fight infections. A ship's engineer is treating a man with lacerations. And a chief cook is helping a woman with disfiguring injuries.
They haven't had the luxury of talking to a doctor at all. They've been doing everything on their own with their training. They've been trained really well, but they're doing everything from their training, and if they aren't sure, they're just going with what they think is best. They're doing
another choice?
There is no other choice. These people have no other hope right now. This is it.
U.S. involvement on the ground in Haiti right now is still further ramping up. Today, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton announced that she will be traveling to Haiti tomorrow, along with the USAID Administrator, Dr. Rajiv Shah, who's been named the government's point person in responding to this tragedy. Secretary Clinton will be bringing USAID officials and supplies in with her. She'll be taking evacuees back to the United States with her when she leaves. According to the State Department, more than 1,000 Americans have now been evacuated from Haiti back to the United States. In addition, 200 Haitian earthquake survivors have been brought for treatment to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. And in a really significant move today, the Obama administration announced that an estimated 200,000 Haitians who are currently living in the United States illegally, they have been granted temporary protected status that allows them to stay here for the next 18 months. But the big story on the ground in Haiti tonight appears to be the growing frustration with the lack of aid getting to people in the streets. A senior defense official telling NBC News tonight that the ineffectiveness of the police presence in Haiti now is becoming a real concern. According to this unnamed official, again speaking with NBC News, U.S. soldiers with the 82nd Airborne Division will be tasked with security when the situation there deteriorates. Again, according to this official, in his words, it's not if the situation deteriorates, but when, which itself is a harrowing choice of language. NBC's Kerry Sanders got a close-up look at that deteriorating situation earlier today.
Emotions are at the breaking point. The Haitian government late today said its main concern is violence. The scramble for food has turned desperate. Overnight, the UN's food warehouses were ransacked. In some places, dead bodies are now used as roadblocks to protest the lack of help.
All these people here, look at this. Red Cross don't show up. The minister don't show up. Nobody showed up here.
Joining us now live from Port-au-Prince is NBC News correspondent Kerry Sanders. Kerry, thank you very much for joining us again tonight. Appreciate your time.
Sure. It's another day, and the progress is in very tiny increments.
In terms of logistics, getting relief supplies to those who need them, are things improving at all? We last spoke to you 24 hours ago. In what way have they measurably improved, if at all?
Well, let me give you the positive, and that is that some of the lesser-known organizations have been able to get some supplies out to people who need them, but because they're lesser known and they're smaller, they're unable to get much out. By and large, just about everywhere I went today, people asked me, where's the food? Where's the water? And those that couldn't speak English tapping their tummies and putting their hands to their mouths. I think there's a greater expectation of delivery than's actually taken place thus far.
Carrie, where you're standing right now, we can see tents behind you. We have footage today of U.S. military vehicles and helicopters arriving on scene. Are distribution points for any supplies safely set up anywhere within Port-au-Prince?
Well, you've got the 82nd Airborne over my shoulder here. In the distance, you might hear the rumble of a C-130 cargo plane that is here. It's been like this all day, and it's been extremely busy. You've got, as you mentioned, the Carl Vinson offshore here. They have been flying with their helicopters, their Seahawks, over the city, coming in here. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and the logistical display appears to be thus far right here, not in the city, not in the places where people are again tonight, sleeping on sheets or pieces of plastic in a park, who need food and need some water.
I feel like, Carrie, we have had a very similar conversation 3 nights in a row now in terms of aid and activity being evident at the airport and it just not getting to the people who need it. The desperation so clear on Tuesday night and then Wednesday night and then Thursday night and now it's Friday night. And I keep hearing these explanations that help is on the way, that there are logistical difficulties, but it doesn't seem like there is any sign that this bottleneck is breaking. I know I keep asking the same question, but is there any sign that anything is changing?
Well, I think the personnel are here. 2 companies from the 82nd Airborne, 220 soldiers on the ground, tasked with getting that humanitarian aid out. And I was told this morning it was going to happen today. I got to believe it's all going to fall into place tomorrow and that we are going to see that be very evident. And I just say that optimistically because I know the people who are here. I mean, we spoke to some young soldiers here. They're just waiting for the order to go. They're ready to go. They want to go. It's just a matter of the big picture logistics, which doesn't mean much to somebody who's sleeping out there who needs a little bit of water or needs a little bit of food. And, got to remember, you can get water in this city right now if you have money. The price of that water has doubled. So if you are living in the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere and you've been unemployed long before this happened, you can't afford that water. If you have a car and you want to get your family out of this crisis and go out to the countryside, which is unaffected, and you have a place to go, and you need fuel for your vehicle, it's $8 a gallon at the gas station, if the gas station's open. It's $20 a gallon at the black market price. And there were folks sitting at a gas station today. They've been there for 2 days. And I asked them, so what is your expectation that there's actually fuel here? And if the fuel is in the tanks, why is it not being pumped? Is it simply a matter of no electricity to bring the pumps up to speed to get the fuel out? And to a T, every person said, no, we're from Haiti. We know exactly how this works. We've been through other types of crises, maybe not as big as this, but the man who owns that gas station is waiting. He's waiting because every day he waits, what he has in the fuel tanks there is more valuable, and he can sell it for more. So it's $8 today, it'll be $12 tomorrow. And so there's this expectation of people who are being opportunists and, taking advantage of the situation. I never found that gas station owner today to ask him that question, but there seemed to be a consensus belief among folks here that that's what was taking place.
Carrie, one of the things that we've had mixed reports on today is that some cell phone service may be being restored on the island. Obviously, a lot of people trying to reach family members are hoping that that's going to be the way they do it. It's obviously also key to coordinating relief efforts. It is back.
It is back. It is back. My phones are on the AT&T system. One blinked on earlier this afternoon. The second one blinked on about an hour ago. So, yes, they're working. BlackBerry service for folks who use text messaging or sending emails, that's back up. And so I think it's a very hopeful sign that people can begin getting word out. I got to tell you, I have received personally the names of about 600 people from viewers of NBC who have asked me to look for their loved one at this address or look for their loved one at that address. And I'm really hopeful for all those people who are anxiously living in the dark, wondering if their loved ones are okay, will start to get a text message, an email, or something so that they can answer that horrible question of what happened to the person I love.
Kerry, we had a somewhat ominous comment from a military official tonight to NBC News saying that there's an increasing concern about the security situation. From your perspective and from what you've seen, are the worries about security justified? Is this a sporadic and scattered problem, or is this something that systemically is becoming a major worry?
Well, I would say that the concern is very real just from the history of this country. It's not uncommon for people to take the violent route to get what they need.